hit 80 mile an hour like second gear, knew it had 4 more gears to run. It's like, I would have died on this thing, I'd rather not. So,
My bike doesn't go that fast. It can probably go 130, but I probably would never do that.
I was 17 and stupid,
Yeah.
as are all 17-year-olds. Please, your son's been driving a derby car since he was 9.
Yeah.
I won't even tell you the crap that I know Kyle's done. We love you and we keep it quiet. Here's a copy of minutes on what you guys got. Said it was bubble.
And Terry also, which I'll give you guys this document to sign, she doesn't, like you guys signing the minutes and stuff anymore, so she now has to read it. And it's sheet to sign as well, so.
No, she's got a sheet to sign those minutes. This is the official one that's in this software. Uh-huh. Call to order, do the pledge of allegiance. Is Kyle interested in that Honda mine still? Or has he made up his mind?
Yeah, I had to leave it this really happy, I think
Well, here's the thing, I want somebody to help me out, because if I'm gonna have to keep that silly Honda, I need to find some guys that are willing to get into like the 24 hours of lemons races. Have you seen these? And the rule is you can't have a car that costs more than $500. But they race it for 24 hours at a time. They do make it's like the poor man's Le Mans. I want somebody to take that car for that purpose. I want to be on the race team, because I'm gonna be the old guy that rides at least one lap around the track.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll call the Martinsville Park Board and Board of Trustees meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Now if we'll stand and give the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time we'll do roll call. Robin McDaniels,
Absent?
Michael Pratt,
Present.
Jason Scott,
Here.
Chuck Smith here, and Rachel Tuttle.
Here.
We have a quorum. Okay, first up is the approval of April 2026 claims and appropriations. Anybody have any questions about any of the things on there? I know Ashley has questioned the copiers. It looks like the same date, same invoice or appropriation number. Looks like we have the same dates that all, like it got double hit on that first page. Ashley's gonna check on that. Does anybody else see anything?
It was only you, Rachel, and Robin present at the last meeting on this sheet.
Yeah, I was not here.
So I was not here,
yes,
so.
I'll make a motion to approve
Yeah,
that.
Michael was not here, so he cannot vote on this one, so it'll just be us.
On the appropriations or on the minutes?
On the minutes, but you can vote on these appropriations.
Right, yeah, we should be able to.
Because you're here.
Yeah, we just have to be mindful of the minutes, those are just the words. So we
Okay,
have
if
to
nobody
wait.
has any questions, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for the claims and appropriation for the month of April.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims. and
Rachel makes a
appropriations.
motion. Do I have a second?
Claims, appropriations, right? Okay. I'll second.
Jason seconds. All in favor of April's claims and appropriations, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And motion is approved. Now we're looking at the, for approval on April 26 minutes.
So can we not do those since there's only two of you here that was here last time? How does that work?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we may have to
We'll have to,
approve them on,
Next.
in the June meeting. Yeah.
we'll have to do that because there was only two of us out of the three that were here, right? With Robin being gone, Jason and Michael were both not present. So we'll have to skip that one. Next up is personnel matters.
Under the agenda, you'll see two papers. The first one with the least amount of names is the concession stand workers, and the second one is the lifeguards.
Okay, so which one, the top one is lifeguards and the bottom is?
If I put in there, like I think I did, the top one should be concession stand. Is that the shortest one?
Yes.
Yes, that's concession.
Okay.
We have a few more concession stand kids, but they were still active in the system under part-time, so these are the ones that just got reactivated.
Wow, looks like a pretty good group of lifeguards this year. Hopefully we have enough that kind of keep, you don't have to worry about running anybody too ragged. I'm hoping. I haven't seen like a group this big in a while. It's kind of nice.
They all get started next week, Michael.
Well, it's hoping for the best.
Yes.
Okay. I'll accept a motion on the attached list for lifeguards and concession workers.
I'll make a motion to accept the lifeguard and concession workers new hires.
I'll second.
Jason makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Rachel seconds. All those in favor of the list that we were provided for lifeguards and concession workers, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And motion is approved. No resignation, retirements, or terminations. We have no old business. So next up is the superintendent's report.
Okay, I'm going to let, we had some things come up with the pool over the past few weeks, so I'm gonna let Luke talk about the pool separately from the rest of the report that I'll give, so I'll let him go first. Yeah, you just have to hold it close.
Okay, so as of this weekend, we are filtering and treating water in all pools, all 4 bodies of water, so we are good to go there. As you guys probably can remember or know, last year when we filled the pools up, the dive well, it was pretty obvious early on that we were losing a lot of water. approximately 600 to 700 gallons per night. So we started the process last year of trying to find the leak. But the pool season was already going. We were full of water. You know, we were kind of just a little bit behind, but we did start the process. We hired United Leak Detection to come in and try to locate the leak last year. At that time, they were able to narrow it down to the water that was being filtered in the pump house and pumping back into the pool. So we knew it was in that line somewhere, but that is a very long line. If you guys know where the pump house is and where that dive well is, that's a lot of area. So we maintained last year. We went through and just added water every morning when we get there, 7:30, 8 o'clock, run water, be full for when we open to the public. This year, we wanted to do a little deeper dive into that and see if we could find the leak. So we had United Leak Detection come out again, probably, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. And they were able to come out and look for it in that return line. They used a series of things to try and find the leak. They used air first. Nothing was substantial in finding the leak. Then they used ultrasound to try and hear the leak underground. They found the leak underneath the pool deck of the dive well, and then they confirmed with helium, which what they do is they pump helium into the jets and then drill down through the concrete, and they have a little meter that kind of like a sniffer that sniffs and can sniff the helium. So we were very, very sure that the leak was in one of the returns that go into one of the jets that goes in, and there are 8 different jets that go into that pool. So United Leak Detection kind of put an X on the concrete of where we needed to dig up. It's probably a 3 by 10 area. They were getting very strong readings in one area, and then just as it was coming up to the surface, it was kind of dissipating, so they wanted to make sure and get a nice wide spot to be able to dig up just to make sure we could find the leak. I think the next day we went ahead and started jackhammering the concrete out, made the saw cuts, and was able to dig all that out. Also, I'll mention United Leak Detection, their recommendation was that we do the demo work and the excavation, but they did say if this crack or this leak is in the wall of the pool, the actual 12-inch concrete wall of the pool, they said you probably don't want to mess with that. You want to get somebody more experienced out to deal with that. So we called Spear. Once we got the pipes exposed, we called Spear out, and they were able to come out and take a look at it for us and do the repair. We thought we were dealing with just a simple like freeze-thaw issue where it didn't get all the water out at one time. But once we exposed everything, if you've got your concrete wall and the pipe going through it to bring the fresh water out, what has happened is these pipes outside of the pool that go all the way around, like I said, 8 different entries into the pool, those pipes have settled. When we started digging that out, we took the concrete out, we dug around 6 to 8 inches of sand, and then we just started getting into clay. So it wasn't backfilled with your normal pea, gravel, sand, things that you would think that we were gonna find in that area. It was straight clay. So the weight of that clay over time has kind of just pressed down the pipes, and we've got a break right there. So they were able to just barely chip away the outer edge of the concrete and put a new fitting on there and make the repair. The issue is, and why I wanted to come to the board meeting and let everybody know, is if we get another leak like this, because if they backfilled that pool everywhere, everything is settling, and if we get another one, it's probably worth having another conversation about, do we do what we did this time, a 3-foot wide band around the whole pool and replace everything? Because if that one cracked, if we have another one, and if we have these settling issues, I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. So.
We're also at the point with our pool too that I don't know that everybody remembers that it's pushing its 30th birthday.
Yes.
And a lot of swimming pools aren't really designed to be 30 years old. And so that may be something, I know as we're working on our 5-year master plan, I know that may be something we may have to have a conversation about as well.
Yeah. That's a question I've asked, since we had Spear come in and we had United Leak Detection. I still look at that as the new pool. That pool was built when I was just out of high school or so, but it seems like, because I went to the old pool, so, but it is, yeah, 30 years old now, and I've asked Spear and United Leak Detection, you know, what do you think on like longevity? And they said, you're really there, you know, that you can't expect a whole lot more out of these pools, but you'll start having multiple issues like this show up, so.
I've been on the board 10, 15 years now, I can't remember how long I've been on the board, and we have made many, many major repairs annually on that pool in at least the last 10 years. I mean, it's nice, and I'm glad we have it. I had a great civics lesson about pull and push factors in migration in communities and how people move into a community, and all my fourth graders thought having a park pool was a pull factor to bring people into the city of Martinsville. I thought that was a great, fun little civics lesson, but I didn't have the heart to tell them that I know how broken it is.
Well, I think next month you guys will see a lot of costly charges on the docket as well. But like last year when we had the leak detection guy come out, it was $2,500. I assume it will probably be roughly the same this year. We had to rent equipment that the guys used to take care of this problem, and then we'll have a charge from Spear. We really have no clue how much that's going. We know in the contract they sent us, it was not to exceed $4,500 without a different conversation. We do think it's closer on the cheaper end, but we don't know that for sure. And then Luke, do you want to talk about the filter pump issue, or the issue we had this week as well? Because there will also be another costly charge for another issue we had this week.
Yeah, so our main pool, you know, the dive well is one thing, and it's something that we definitely want up and going, but I was more concerned with the main pool last week. When I fired it up, it ran for about 2 hours and shut down. So that system has a motor and pump that is ran from a VFD, which is a variable frequency drive. So it's kind of the brain of it. It tells the motor, you know, what capacity to run. It's not just like you're turning on the motor and it's running at 100%. You can run it at 50%, 60%, 75%. So it's good for your motor. It helps with the longevity of it. You get more life out of it. It's not a hard stop and a soft start. This drive kind of absorbs the power and then gives a little bit to the motor as we program it. So that went down last week, and Eli and I and the whole crew was able to kind of troubleshoot it to know that it was a fan that was stopping and overheating in there. We also, Tom Walls with Livewire, he came out and looked at it, and at no charge. He's really, really good to us at the park, and just to give him a shout out there. He's really good to us and has a lot of good input. So we were able to troubleshoot that, make sure that it was the fan. We called and got somebody that works on these VFDs to come out and replace the fan for us. So I felt it's going to be an expensive call, because these people, they specialize in VFDs. It's three-phase electric. It's something that we're really not, equipped to get in there and do. But I did feel good about us troubleshooting it, and they only had to make one trip. They had everything on their truck when they came, because we told them what it was doing, and they were out for half a day taking all that apart. All that electronics had to come out to get to that fan. So yeah, just a couple of things that hopefully we're there now, and we're done spending money, but yeah, a couple of decent invoices are probably going to come in next month.
The exciting news is the pools have water in them, and Luke sent out for the sample test today, so we need 2 passing back to back to open the pool, so we're moving along now. Okay, I'll go ahead with everything on the report. The playgrounds at Jimmy Nash and the playground at Mulberry got mulched. The fountain got placed in the pond. We hosted the craft fair. I think we ended up having 25 to 26 showed up. We always have a couple, it seems like the day of, that doesn't follow through and show up. All new lifeguards have completed lifeguard training. We hosted our first pool staff training on May 2nd. We give the kiddos like two dates to choose from, so we're hoping to see the rest that didn't come on May 2nd this Friday from 6 to 8. We hosted a field trip with the second grade classes from Smith Elementary. We did that on Friday. I think we had 63 kiddos there. That was a good day for our staff. All staff was involved in that. The guys led the tour, did some education about trees and turtles. Luke roasted some s'mores for us with a torch because it was not sunny that day. So we have to get creative sometimes. That same day, we had a group. Now, these were groups that we weren't giving a field trip to, but they called to let us know they were stopping by. They were on other field trips and coming to our park to have lunch and play. So Owen Valley stopped by that afternoon, and South Elementary came last Friday as well. So we had a ton of kids at the park last Friday. All shelters and bathrooms were cleaned. All the bathrooms were open before May 1st. Of course, all the shelter rentals started on May 1st. We kicked off our walking club. We've had a couple where we had a couple people show up. We had one where we had nobody show up. So, I mean, but we're there at that time of day anyways. So we just go out and wait, and if somebody shows up, we walk and have lunch with them. If not, we give it about 10 minutes or so, and then we head back inside. Luke hosted his second nature night, and I think he said he had 17 guests in attendance. So, and of course, those are monthly until October. Of course, Luke just mentioned all this, but him and the maintenance staff have been working on the pool and the filter room. We talked about the pool test getting sent off. We are switching to Pepsi. We had Coke. We've just had a hard time getting Coke to come out in a timely manner when things are broken. In our machine, we had a lot of issues with it last year. So both of these are at no cost to us. We just, of course, they get money by us buying the product that we sell. So Pepsi is hoping to be out by the end of this week, but if not, the beginning of next week to get everything hooked up for us. And they'll unhook the Coke machine, and then we'll just call Coke to come and pick it back up. We had a request from the dirt diggers at Doris Daly Park to, I don't know if you guys had noticed, they had the wood signs that were painted yellow, but they wanted those to kind of be etched in like the Doris Daly portion was. So Luke found, what's the name of? Digital wood carvers, and they did it for free for us. So Luke took those there and got those done for the dirt diggers. So those are back up at Doris Daly. Now, if any of you noticed, the shelter at Doris Daly caught on fire a couple weeks ago. I don't know if we really know how it happened. It's not in bad shape, but it did cause some electrical damage. I'm waiting for Tom's quote because I don't know yet if our deductible's so high. I don't know if it's worth turning in on the insurance just yet till we see what the quote will be. So we're just kind of waiting on that. All the fire extinguishers have been inspected for the year. This always gets done in May. The fire marshal came out and did his yearly inspection, and no issues were found, which I think that's the first time since I've been there that there was, not that it's ever major things, but nothing that we've had to correct this year. Items to be completed in the next couple of weeks. Of course, get the pool open. That is scheduled to open next Saturday, May 23rd at 11 a.m. Work on cornhole boards and gaga ball pits. We did tell Duke that we would try to have those in the spring. So when we get the pool open, that's the next two big projects to get done. We do have the gaga ball pit, and the items are ordered for the cornhole boards. Some maintenance on shelter 4 needs to be done, so we'll just work on that. Of course, beginning of the week, it's not really rented typically, so we'll work around the rental schedule. The summer concert series kicks off this Thursday night at 6:30 p.m., so that will start taking some of our Thursdays. And then we have the day of caring with about 20 middle school kiddos. They're coming out on Thursday. They always volunteer to do something for us towards the end of the school year. Any questions on that?
I know we'd had a conversation about what you're putting at the bottom of the gaga ball pit. What you guys?
Yes, Luke.
Okay. So we are going to excavate the topsoil and then get down and then put some heavy stone down, and that'll be our base. We're going to build up the center of it. The ones that we've looked at, we took a tour just around town last year to look at some of them, and it seems like the walls hold up good. It's the bowling in the middle where people just get in there and just dig it out, and it creates a bowl and it just sets water. So we're going to put some stone in there, put the fabric in there. We're going to put, if you guys have been in the pool area, I'm not sure where these came from, but there's rubber mats everywhere in there. And I think that was done before the epoxy anti-slip flooring was put in there. Okay, so that's still in there. So we're going to lay that down and then put mulch over that.
Okay.
And so that, hopefully that helps with some of the erosion that takes place when the kids are in there. I know that I've seen some of those used for the same purposes, like under swing sets and things. They'll
Yeah.
put some of those down and help with that, so.
Well, I was also thinking, as a teacher, the number of scraped knuckles from the gaga ball pits that just have a concrete floor.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys putting the rubber mat down. I was
Yeah.
curious about that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Any other questions from this report? Okay. We provided you with the same two reports we have been for the Martinsville City Park Pool, what we brought in from April 1st to April 30th, which you can see is $2,600. And then you have your shelter rentals. Again, it was just shelter one from April 1st to April 30th. So that brought in $1,650. But we did another report now that we're starting to pick up on all of our events. It's just the activities that we're doing. So you guys can take a look at that, but it just shows like vendor payments we took for the craft fair, refillable cups that we sold for the pool, the pickleball tournament, just anything that we do that we collect extra funds for, you'll be able to see on this report. And this report total for everything brought in $600 for the April 1st through the 30th. So next month, we'll have all the shelters open, so you'll be seeing, even, of course, more added to that, those shelter rentals.
Next up is new business, and it looks like we're gonna have a presentation today.
Did you, I don't know if you emailed this to everybody or if it just
They
went to you?
had it in the email and they have it in their folders.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
All right, so I don't have to go over everything. I guess I just want to introduce myself. I put a little bit in here. My name is Monty Creason. I was in the medical field. I was a nurse for almost 20 years. And I left the medical field about 4 or 5 years ago. I no longer aligned with things that were happening in the medical field. I've always been kind of drawn to natural healing and medicine, and I started studying herbalism. So I've spent the last 5 years kind of learning and growing through my herbalism practice, and I just thought that I would treat people clinically as an herbalist because I was a nurse for 20 years. But the more I've learned and the more I've grown, the more I want to teach. And I feel like it's really important to plant seeds in our children. They've become really denatured and separated from nature, and I want to start a forest school. So in order to do that, I need a place to start, and so I was proposing the idea of using some space at the park to start kind of a club. This isn't an accredited school, this isn't, nature schools, forest schools are really popular like in Europe. They're starting to become more popular around here. It's kind of like Montessori school, but it's outside. It's child-led learning, I guess. We're not micromanaging the children. We let them learn through nature and activities that would help guide them through nature. We stay in rhythms of the seasons, do all kinds of fun nature crafts, learn about plants. Obviously, I'm going to teach them about all different things you can do with plants. I'd love to help with the guided nature things. I have all kinds of connections in the herbalism community, all kinds of different people that I would like to bring in to help run some of the classes or lead some of the classes to teach the kids. I don't know how much you guys went over all of this. I don't want to go over it if you've already read through it, but does anybody have any questions about what I'm doing or proposing to do?
Can you tell them, Monty, how often you are looking to use space?
So just starting out, I'm looking for a space that's kind of off the beaten path, that's separate from the playgrounds and anything that might distract them from what's going on with what we're trying to do. I would like to start out once a week, every other week, just to kind of get it started and get it going and get a rhythm. When school starts, I would like to be able to integrate it into homeschool, for the homeschool groups to be able to come once a week. And then still do like seasonal, like the summer solstice and the winter solstice, do little seasonal festivals for the public. And then like one weekend a month, offer something to the kids that when school starts, they can still come on the weekends and do something fun outside in nature. So
So you-
once a week.
Targeting any certain age bracket?
So starting out, I would like to do 3 to 7 years of age. I have a little granddaughter that's about to turn 3. She's part of my inspiration for this too. I would like to focus on that age group. That's what I have the most experience with and knowledge, all the things that I've been studying over the last couple of years. That's what I'm most comfortable with right now. My long-term plan is to become a not-for-profit and apply for some grant to buy a piece of land to have a permanent school for all school, from children to adults, to be able to teach them how to work with their hands and how to cook. A lot of things that we've kind of become disconnected from. So this is where I would like to start. I thought it would be nice to work with the park, just to kind of help get my name out there. Anything that I would do to the land would be to enhance it, not take anything away from it. There would be no kind of permanent structures. I would like to set up a little area. I'm so nervous, I'm sorry. I would like to set up a little area, like from a fallen tree, cut it up into stumps for chairs, like to have a little circle time. I had thought about, I had mentioned a garden, but we don't have to do a garden. We could plant natives just around the area where I would be using as a teaching space to kind of teach the kids, and they're right there, to teach them how to identify different plants and the whole process of growing and caring for plants.
When you use it once a week, do you know about how long you plan on class being, 30 minutes, an hour?
Well, I think for setup and cleanup, probably 3 hours. By the time it's all said and done. 3.5 hours. I know that in the event of bad weather, because everything's outside, in the event of bad weather, I would just cancel the class, reschedule it for a later time when the weather's not bad, because we wouldn't have any kind of shelter. I would like to find an area that's kind of shaded, but also has open area. I don't know if there's, I mean, at the top of the hill up by Shelter 8, the trail that's up there, there's a lot of like open, nice shaded areas in there, but I don't know what's allowed and what's not allowed.
That's what I was gonna ask. When I think about the fall, I know that we're slowed down enough that I don't see anything prohibitive in the fall for anything that you would do. My question would be, I know we've also got a YMCA day camp up there, like where is there location that would be, we could guarantee a spot once a week in the summer? That would be my only concern right now that I can think of. I can't think of anything else. Like, is there, because I know the path like across the top of the hill, that's a nice shaded area, there's plenty of space. I mean, I've taught classes up there. I know what she's talking about at the other side, as you go up the very top by the new playground and the dog park, there's plenty of places to teach. I've taught students up there as well. I'm just trying to think, is there a spot for the summer where we wouldn't have?
I would, yeah.
Even if we had to walk back, a lot of people that are familiar with forest schools, like they're used to having to hike to their classroom.
I was
So
the
if they had-
director of the Bradford Woods program for the MSD of Martinsville
Oh, good,
for
so you're
15 years.
familiar, good.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm just trying to make sure we have space so that you're not, other groups aren't infringing on you and you're
Right.
not accidentally infringing on other groups.
Yeah.
That's our dilemma, is I know with the YMCA program that's there, there's a lot of movement with those kiddos and that group. I'm just trying to make sure that we have a spot that would be, because I also know that there's like some sanctity in your classroom and you want to have that
So
as well.
obviously stay away from disc golf course.
Yeah, we've got like the disc golf course, we've got some other things.
That would be my only.
Right, that's, I'm looking more at like protecting your teaching moment
Yeah.
than anything else, so.
I think we could find some space. My questions, I guess, would be, I think we would need to talk about insurance. And because this is a separate program, just so
Right.
people understand that while you are doing this on park property, that the park is not liable for anything going on in the program piece of it. So would a COI just cover all of that, or is there something else we need to put in place?
Well, that would be, I think that would be very similar to like when folks rent out the facilities for anything else. Like, you know, like that would be, if your vendors for a craft fair have to have their own insurance on their own materials and their own stuff. And we have our 4th of July celebration, all those vendors that come in, they have to have their own insurance and they have to be bonded and all that. I would say that this would be very much like a vendor type situation in my mind. Now, maybe something you have to clarify with the clerk's office to make sure, but in my brain, that's how that clicks and works.
Well, and I assume it's like the YMCA, because they sign their kid up through the YMCA, so they're
Correct.
taking liability for everything, and you would have a sign up.
Yes, and I also plan on obtaining my own liability insurance.
Okay. Do you know when you're
And
wanting,
consent forms for them.
do you know when you're wanting the program to start?
I mean, I would need to get the space prepared and put together, so late summer, early fall is ideal. To kind of, like September-ish, to kind of, when school gets back in session, and we can just kind of stay in rhythm with that schedule.
So is there anything that you would need from the Parks Department outside of a coordinating location?
I mean, if you guys want to cut up the tree, get the log up there, but I'm sure I could recruit help if that's not possible. That's pretty much about it. If I am allowed to do that, if I were to put like because the age of the kids, like a sandbox of some sort up there for them to have access to play around in our area.
I guess we would just have to look at the space, but do know that while you'll have that area, other people will mess with that stuff when they are visiting
that
the
area,
park.
Yeah.
Well, and sandboxes often draw
Cats.
unwanted other animals, not just cats.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're looking at potentially a fox or a raccoon or anything like that using your space for
Yeah.
their space.
I was gonna put a cover on, like it was just like it's a sand table. And then it comes with a
Honestly,
cover.
if something like, you would probably, honestly, because of the number of raccoons, you would actually need it locked.
Okay.
Like
And it's not important, that was just,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get ideas of what you would allow and what you wouldn't. I just know that I would need some seating for when we do our little circle time, and connect and do all the things that we do together as a group. I know there was a lot in that, in my proposal, but I didn't know if anybody had any questions or if there's any confusion about anything. I probably talked in circles.
how many potential staff members do you see yourself having?
For now, it'll be me, and this is my friend Brooke. This is Brooke Studebaker. She has experience in school teaching. She will be my partner helping. I plan to have a class of 10 to start. Each class, as I grow, I think I'll keep around 10. But for the sake of this right here, I'm actually calling it a club right now, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea, because I'm just getting started out. I'm not a permanent place, but I want to be able to offer something to the community, but also be able to grow it into something bigger later on. And I wanted to ask about like foraging, like if we took the kids out into the woods to gather our little sticks for our crafts, like is that safe and allowed?
I'd say pick up all the sticks you want.
Okay. Or leaves or whatever we're gonna
Right,
use for our little crafts, yeah.
Just remember, leaves of 3, let them be.
A trash can, we would probably need a trash can.
Okay, do you guys want to table this till next meeting for a vote, or you want to vote now?
I mean, I think it's a wonderful idea. And
Outside of like insurance concerns, I don't really see any question, you know.
In the club phase,
Mhm.
this wouldn't be that much different than a scouting group being there. That's, as long as we're in the club phase portion of it, like, I think when we move and you're needing more space or however, I think there might be some discussion we'd have to have, but at this
Yeah.
point, I'm kind of like you, that I don't know that this would be any different than Troop 217 coming in
No.
and spending a day at the park doing whatever the Troop 217 does, right? So, and then again, they're insured and they're bonded and those sorts of things would be covered under them.
Right.
So,
I mean, you could make a motion on this with, you know, contingent on this or that, right? So.
yeah, however anybody chooses to make the motion.
I would just ask, I guess, Monty, when you have your paperwork together, I don't know if it's something we should have our attorney look at, just to make sure that it's like, you know what I mean, not connected to us in any fashion. Not that we think it would be, but just to cover our basis. I don't know if we should just, have that looked over first. But if you don't want to do it till, in December, September, I feel like there's time for that.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. And that may not be a bad idea either, get everything organized so that,
Table it to next meeting.
Would you be okay with coming back and?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I just need to know what it is that you need from me, specifically.
so I think, Ashley, you'd probably be best to know exactly like what insurance paperwork, if
Oh,
there's
so
a.
just insurance?
Insurance
If
paperwork.
you've got a 503CB number. like
Yeah, I don't
those-
have that yet. I don't have that yet. I'm working towards that.
Yeah,
And I can get with you, but yeah, we'll need a copy of a COI listing us as an additional insured. But then whatever form you're gonna have them fill out,
Oh, the consent?
I would like to just have
Oh, okay,
our people look that over.
okay.
So yeah, just if you could get that together, and then I can work with you on the COI and what it needs to say on it.
Okay. Sounds good. So insurance and a consent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else you guys can think of?
I think that's gonna cover it.
So right now, I know. but
It's a great idea, though.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Public comment. I don't see that we've got anybody else here that hasn't already spoken. Does anybody on the board have anything they need to bring up or would like to bring up before we get ready for the adjournment process? No? Okay. I make a motion to adjourn.
do you make it or you entertain it? Do you make it or do you entertain it?
I entertain it.
There you go.
At 6:40.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Rachel makes a motion.
I'll second.
And Michael seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? And the motion passes. We are adjourned.
Okay. You need to sign this minutes paper, then the docket, and then still that for
Thanks again.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.